So hi everyone. Today we're gonna try to write a test client. I already started it to write one in the last streams, and currently I'm trying to implement when the build server tries to communicate to the client. So the server initialized the communication at that point. Yeah, because if the client initially creates the request, it works already. But if the server tries to call functions on the client, it didn't work. J1T, hey, welcome to the stream. So, and I did some, I tried a couple of stuff already, but none of them did work. On a build server protocol, yes. So I looked up how it should work. So this is the documentation. It's pretty good, but somehow it does not work. I think I have a mistake somewhere, but currently I didn't catch that one. Ah, cool, yeah. Then you're coming back to see where I'm, how I'm doing. Yeah, basically I implemented quite a lot already. And now I'm writing tests. Or trying to implement like some helpers for the tests. Currently, let me see. I uncommented or commented out some tests just to get this part working, but I have implemented some of them which were working. So like basic initialize calls and stuff like that. Yeah. So let's see. Is this taking inspiration from the workspace edit capability defined in the LSP? I'm not sure what workspace edit capability is in LSP. I'm not that familiar with LSP. I know what it is and I know a little bit about it, but not every function. So let's see what's workspace edit LSP. Workspace. Should be there, right? Somewhere here. The change configuration. It's workspace. Request is sent from the server to the client to modify a resource on the client side. Workspace folders. Many tools support more than one root folder per workspace. Examples, multi-root support. Oh, I see. Items project folder support and so on projects. If the client workspace consists of multiple roots, then a server typically needs to know about this. The protocol up to now assumes one root folder, which is announced to the server by the root URI property. If the client supports workspace folders and announces them via corresponding workspace folders client capability, the initial params contains additional property workspace folders within the configured workspace folders when the server starts. I'm not sure if I can say that they are related. To configure the files and folders to consider for the LSP. I think BuildServer could be used from an LSP to get that information. Because there are endpoints which give you files for a specific target. And also you get the different targets in your workspace. But I'm not sure if this is designed to be able to work with multiple workspaces. There's not that much in the spec about that specific point. I think it works more like you have one workspace, but you can start the build server in that workspace that you want currently to work in. So I saw it in the how was it called, Bloop or something? Bloop. Metal. There you can switch workspaces. So this is also a build server implementation for Scala. And there you can switch workspaces, and the LSP gets the information from the build server. And so it kind of changes the workspaces depending on what the build server is providing. So the LSP and the BSP can work together, as I understand that. But I'm still discovering how it can be used together, and also what we can do with the build server itself. Yeah, that's basically why I'm trying to write tests. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the bits. Yeah, I'm trying to write tests so I can adapt faster, because currently I'm just implemented like the basic functionalities, and I want to write tests to ensure that it works correctly before I kind of go out of alpha with it. Do you write C# yourself? Yeah, it is open source. That's the whole point of it. I like open source software, and this is one project where I personally am interested and want to give something back to the open source community. You can, if you like, look it up. It's in the main repository. That's the link. I don't write C#, but I've read it enough to understand it. Yeah, I think it's basically not that hard to understand C#, especially if you're already familiar with Java or something. C like or C-based languages. Yeah. The only thing you really need to know is kind of different libraries or something if you want to write some productive code, but the syntax is not that hard. So if you like, you can check it out. It's open source and you can use it and do whatever you want with it. It's under MIT license, and the projects that I used are also MIT. So it's based on the Roslyn LSP implementation. I have to deep dive into C# to contribute meaningfully. Yeah, just try it or something. I think it's okay to not be perfect, and the pull requests are not be perfect, so that's fine. My code is also not perfect in the current implementation, so okay. Now I wanted to filter the targets here. There was that. The build targets, there is one property where I can find out if the target is buildable. This code can compile or something. Build target capabilities. Ah, okay, that's the one here. Capabilities can compile. And let's just take the as value and can compile. value is true. Or we can just abbreviate it a little bit. Wait, why does this didn't work? Can compile is an nullable bool. Yeah, that's here. I completely lost. This should work. We have just nullable boolean here, so this should work here. Ah, okay, no. Let's remove it. So it compares to true. Get only compilable ones. Then first. Target. I think you have streamed after quite a while now. Yeah, I tried to stream more regularly, but then I had some stuff, and now I try to stream every Monday and Thursday. I try to get better in talking and writing code, because I think it's if you look to the other streamers, it seems so easy, and if you do it yourself, it's hard to concentrate and talking. So that's where I'm struggling sometimes. But I think it's practice, as everything in life. If you wanna get better, you have to practice the stuff. So then we get the target here, and then we can create a new request. And request async. We can say methods. Target compile. and build target compile params. Let's call it compile params. Compile params like that, and then see what we need to pass there. Build target identifier and origin ID and arguments. So basically we need only the targets here and the target in there like this. Build target identifier. I thought about starting to stream, but I will have as a laptop. I'm sure I can start with it, but it feels overwhelming. Yeah, that's feels also overwhelming to me. I just started, and yeah, even if I'm not getting better in streaming, at least what I managed to do now is like progressing in my project, because I try to start streaming regularly and also do at the streams this open source project. So I kind of try to do multiple, to get multiple benefits from it, and even if one is not working, I still get the progress in the project. And I'm happy if this is the only thing I get from it, so that's fine. What do you like to stream if you want to start streaming? Yeah, and if you start streaming, just write me. I would also like to look into it from time to time. Yeah, that sounds nice. So, as I said, even if you don't get that much people that are looking the stream like it is for me, at least you get something done, and it's open source, so everyone can enjoy it. Which open source projects do you like to do on the stream? Currently I'm working on a Postman alternative for the terminal. This sounds awesome. I'm currently using Curl because I don't like Postman at all after the last changes that they do, and I use this tool. And what I like about it, it's declarative. So if you write stuff in there, you kind of keep it. You can just save it in a file and you have it. It's simple and I like it. But I'm open to alternatives. Also contributing to bonsai for Go CLI apps. Let's see what that is. Go bonsai CLI framework and batteries included library of utilities. Bonsai SI. Bonsai is undergoing a major upgrade. Okay. Go monorepo utility. A terminal performance tester. Persistent variable tool. Portable help command. From a very real need to replace messy collection of shell scripts. Wasteful incompletion source. And to a specific documentation with a single stateful multi-call binary composed of commands. Organized as rooted node trees with a clean, modular, portable, statically compiled and dynamically self-documenting design. There's simply nothing else like it in Go or any other language, and there's no better language than Go for such things. Okay, crafting HomeKit, rootkit, binaries with embedded resources that don't bloat RAM consumption is a breeze. No other language can do it. Yeah, I wanted to write some Go stuff in the future, but maybe after I get this project to into a better shape and I get more time to do other stuff, I wanna learn some Go. I'm going to use the Hurl syntax for caching and saving requests. Interesting. Maybe by then I would have started streaming. Yeah, maybe. Kimono tool. This one. It's in R language. It's in the bonsai. Ah, okay. Kimono. Ah, this one. Monorepo utility. Commands, kimono. Mod go is the entry point, I guess. What can you do with this? Kimono command go. Work command. Let's see the documentation. Like for the sub commands, you mean? Manage or list tags for the Go modules. Golang mono. Oh, okay, it's specifically for Go language monorepos. So it's a tool to manage Golang monorepos. It helps you create a Git tags for releases of libraries, update dependencies, update dependents, modules that depend on the current module, and other great stuff. Okay, nice. Sounds good. Monorepos in Golang is a minimally explored domain, so Kimono is a great companion to get into it. Ah, cool. Yeah, sounds great. So I will keep it in mind when I'm starting Go language exploration. Bonsai. So okay, I can just add ID here. So this should work. So this would be compile params, and what we get back. Compile result. Compile result. Okay, let's client extensions. Create here a public static task. Result. And compile. Async. This build server client, and then the compile params. And let's add the cancellation. Okay. So I can reduce this part to just compile. Compile. This. And build this compile result. And let's see what we can get from here. Like assert equal something compile result status code. Let's say it's okay or something. Okay. Looks like this worked. Let's say it's an error. Should fail now at that point. So the compilation worked. So there is no issues if I try to call the server. Like from the server there is no calls from the server to the client coming. Okay, let's see again. We can add methods here. Maybe I try a different approach as described here. You can also create a class with all the callbacks in it and pass it directly. With a local RPC target. Let's do this. Go here, the public class. Something like this. And when we create the client, we pass in server callbacks. Like this. And here we have our callbacks. Then we pass in here. And we can say here add local RPC target, and we pass in the server callbacks in there. And all the functions, all the public functions of this class would represent the possible callbacks. Then let's move this part out here. Move it in here. So I have the methods here. And this one would be, let's remove this part also. JsonRpc method. This one is build log message. Let's call it async. Let's go here. Output helper, test output helper, output helper like this. Test output helper. This would, this is a class that we can use to print information from the test. So if we want to log something out, that's the class to use, and we pass it in so we can just log it to the console for now. I want just to see if it works. So cancellation token is fine. This is not muted anymore. Let's go in here. Remove this part. And call this maybe start listening. Yep, like this. Here we could say, I know we don't need this, but we can pass in the output helper and just log the stuff out. Build publish diagnostic received. Build publish. This is how the diagnostic should look like. Publish diagnostic params. This is what we get. This is a notification here, so it's just ask. Then let this part here. So this should be take params. Publish diagnostics like this. We can also log them to the test output helper, see if we get some diagnostics. Outline, let's see, for each publish diagnostics. Diagnostics, we get code range in the message. Let's just print the message for now. If it's not too much of a problem, could you increase the font of the terminal? It's really difficult to read anything. Yeah, sure. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's better. Yeah, I have to remember the size, maybe that next time I'm streaming with a bigger fonts from the beginning. Thanks for telling me. Okay, now let's run the test and see if this works or not. So it does not work. Because we should see some output here, then it would work. So this means these methods are never called. Question is why. Maybe we can see if we can debug it somehow. Okay. Testings library or users of this library can be done without any transport by using a pair from the Nerdbank streams library in your test to produce a pair of full duplex stream objects. Okay, how to troubleshoot. When investigating failures, you may find StreamJsonRpc tracing functionality useful. With the JSON-RPC trace source property, you can listen for which server methods are registered, incoming and outgoing JSON-RPC messages. Yeah, that's sounds good. When listening is started, RPC methods invocation failures with full exception call stack. The above is just a sample. The full list of events available. JSON-RPC trace events enum. Trace source property. Other issues. Okay, let's see. Maybe there are some examples of that usage. There was one using trace source for logging. So most of the properties available on this object are also traced out via trace source on disconnect. Adding a trace listener to that trace source is usually adequate for logging and captures many other warnings and errors conditions that may occur without a connect, without a disconnect. So locally disposed and remote party terminated. Disconnection reasons are considered normal and are traced with trace event information. Okay, let's see how to use this troubleshoot. This sounds good. Here and visual case tests. X unit trace listener. So that we have a notify server, we have a server RPC and client RPC. Client invoke. Okay, not sure. We can try this one. Here in tests. It's hidden here, this JSON-RPC stuff. So I would need to pass it in here. And then having JSON-RPC trace source. Listeners. Adding a trace listener. Let's see. Did they get the logger? Test output helper is the logger. Okay, let's pass in here also iLogger. Login and server client test. See this part, actually trace listener. Did they implement it themselves? Yeah, they implemented it themselves. So this is something I had also to implement. Oh, it's not iLogger. It's not, does not have the iLog interface. Oh, we have to remove this part. And for this, trace listener, trace listener. Put in here. If there are any, so let's save trace listener is not null. Can we set this one? Let's remove this. Let's say this is nullable. So it's optional. Trace listener, trace listener, also optional. And now in the tests we can pass in trace listener. We have to create like dated C MIT license. Okay. Be able to copy the part then. This should be possible then to pass in this here in client creation. Here new X unit trace listener with output helper in there. Let's test this. So now we get more info, at least. Invocation of build log method cannot occur because arguments do not match any registered target methods. Okay, that's a beginning. No target methods are registered that match build task progress. Build log message cannot occur because arguments do not match any registered target methods. How should they look like? They match. I thought they are matching. Okay, we have here JSON-RPC method. Here for build log messages. This is what we sent. This something special value task. Let's read again here. What they should look like. JsonRpc automatically creates an alias for async methods that omit the async suffix. Given the example above, the JSON server will now respond. Okay, that's fine, but I used this attribute to mark the methods as with a different name. Like my methods are called differently than on the server side, but you can use this attribute to mark them. This one, JSONRpc method, so that I was using. Should it be void then, because it's a notification? Maybe it's just void. But they can be cancelled. Yeah, let's try it out. So we can just say this one is void, and we don't have this out here, so remove this. We need the async suffix then. So it specifically says the arguments do not match any registered target methods. Read again. Invocation of build log message cannot occur because arguments do not match any registered target methods. Build log message. It's only log message params. And it's a notification. It doesn't match. Use single object parameter deserialization. Instead of concretely defining methods for each BP method, we instead dynamically construct a generic method info from the exported handler types. This allows us to define multiple handlers for the same method, but different type parameters. This is a key functionality to support this external access, as we do not want to couple our BP protocol version LL to theirs. We also do not use the StreamJsonRpc support for gtoken, as the gRPC method parameters became because we want StreamJsonRpc to do this deserialization to handle streaming requests using it. We also do not use the StreamJsonRpc support for JToken. Use single object parameter deserialization. Sure what that means. This attribute should be used when RPC message method names can be different from the actual DLR method. It's useful in cases where RPC message method names contain illegal characters, like ours with a slash. If methods are overloaded, each overload must define its own StreamJsonRpc JSONRPC method attribute with all the same values. Conflicts will result in error being thrown during StreamJsonRpc JSONRPC construction. If methods are overwritten, the base class can define a StreamJsonRpc JSONRPC method attribute, and the derived classes will inherit the attribute. If derived class and base class have conflicting StreamJsonRpc JSONRPC method attribute values for method, an error will be thrown during stream. JSON. of the name. Gets or sets a value indicating where the JSON-RPC named arguments should all be deserialized into the RPC method's first parameter. Client requires named argument. That's what I want here, but this is a boolean. Our default is here's no default. Example of impact of this setting is when the client sends and then the server will call my progress. The argument, the notification that the server then sends back to the client may use positional or named arguments in that application. Named arguments are used if and only if this property is set to true. Okay, but how can I attribute? This is so here. Never had that use case before. Net attribute that property. Okay. This out seems to work, and it seems that it recognizes it, so build log message and cannot both map to the same request method. Oh, did I messed up here? Oh yeah. Did. This looks much better now. Test is still failing. But now we see the output. Okay, yeah, that's JSON-RPC warnings. That's clear. I don't have callbacks for every method that the server can call on the client. That's expected. That's strange. So the actual test case that I wanted to implement here is to shut down the server and see if it's properly shutting down. And now maybe I remove this part so it's not that noisy in there. We only need this part here, which is basically we're starting the server. We do a build initialize request first. We have to do that one. Then from the client, we send the notification that we are initialized. We are fine. So this is the initial ping pong that we have to do. And after that, we just say we shut down, or we send the shutdown request to the server. And when this one is done, we do an exit async. This is basically how it's defined in the protocol. If I didn't mess up something there. Let's test it again here. Then what it says is basically it started this initialize part. It did ended the initialize part. We started the initialized and initialized shutting down. Request, then shutting down. Maybe we need more time between the shutting down and the exit. Create sleep. Time span 1 seconds. 3 seconds. Something. Should be more than enough. Maybe the checking if the process terminated is incorrect on my side. I could say wait for exit. Never exits, I guess. But why? Maybe we can look at the implementation. Server and then program CS. We say run async. So we're setting up the server, the start here. And then we say we wait for exit on async. create command line parser. Create command line parser, CLI command. Root command, run async. Turn a root command. So we get this root command. Parse and then invoke. This is the root command that we define. It's and don't get this part, so we do an await parse arguments and then invoke. This is the part with a root command, CLI root command. Action. No. This is using this command line library. Maybe it's in there. Configure await to your await expression. So we get create command line parser. This is this part. We parse the stuff. This is what we parse. Then we root command set action. We pass in the server configuration. With the server configuration, we configure this part. Log a factory. Standard input, standard output. This is what we run the root command, basically starting the server and wait to exit. What it does here is JSON-RPC completion. Completion. Maybe we have to somehow end the connection from the client. Let's see if there is some documentation about the disconnecting. Disconnect. The JSON-RPC connection is disconnected for any of those scenarios. The JSON-RPC dispose method is invoked. The transport unexpectedly closes. Again, lost network connection, remote process crash, remote site connection intentionally. A message is received that does not parse to valid JSON-RPC message. Some the protocol level violation is detected. When any of the above conditions are met, JSON-RPC will in no particular call dispose. So, any of the above conditions are met, will in a particular order call dispose in the JSON-RPC message handler, which is expected to dispose the underlying transport. Folds all outstanding tasks objects that represent outbound request with a connection lost exception. Folds outstanding tasks. If cancel locally invoked methods when connection is closed is true, cancel all cancellation tokens that were provided as arguments to local invoked methods. Remote events handlers that may have been added to any target objects. Completes the task returned from the JSON-RPC completion property either successfully or with the exception that led to the connection termination. Okay, but let's see what actually is in the build server. And build exit, build shutdown. Shutdown now log async. So the shutdown basically done there. And we do the exit async. Tell the BP server to exit requires that shutdown string was called first. Typically called from a BP exit notification. What do we do here? Shutdown request task is completed. Run exit or return the already running exit request. Runs actual exit outside of the log, guaranteed to be only called once by the above code. Immediately yield so that this does not run under the log. Service allow implementation to do any additional cleanup on exit. So we get the lifecycle manager and say exit async. JSONRpc disconnected. Shutdown triggered by JSONRpc disconnected. Shutdown. Wait, what? The shutdown is triggered again here. And exit async. Exit now. On exit or return the already running exit request. Dispose. Maybe you have to give him more time on exit then. I'm not sure. So let's remove this part. This also. So 3 seconds on disconnect. When we're exiting. Shutting down. So it instructs the process component to wait for the associate process to exit or the cancellation to open. I could try also here, maybe dispose the client. After that here, and I don't have a dispose there. So we have this one. And there should be a dispose. And I disposable. JSON-RPC. Dispose. Change person is supposed to call. Press finalize object. This will prevent derived types that introduce. Okay, we will not have any derived types. Okay. No, let's dispose the client here. Okay. So the server somehow waits till the client disconnects. At least it seems like that. But where is the part? Where is the part where it waits for that? And BuildServer. So finally, if this is done, we do exiting server. Let's say if we print diagnostics here. I want actually to see all the logs, even if it's successful. How is this possible? test output helper. Print logs even if test is successful. Okay. Oh, okay, let's can pass this part to see more of it. Oh, that's the same if I do -v. Okay, so it's not the same. I have to remember this part. So basically I have the information about shutting down. But what I don't see is this exiting server. Was the process exit code 0 is a good one. Exit code 0. Get success. I'm always not sure about this. Don't use that often with success codes. So 0 is success. Yeah, that's fine. So that's what I was thinking also. Then I guess I can stop here. Now maybe clean this part up. Should I move this? Should I just let it here? Yeah, I moved this out. Or yeah, I will add it here. Hello. So let's rename this diagnostic. this part. So let's move this to an extra file. Server callbacks, new server callbacks, and then put helper server callbacks. So publish diagnostics we already have here implemented. Yeah, there are the rest of the calls that I have to add here. I also have to add some properties so I can check in the tests if I got the right messages. So I have to cache them somewhere here. But I think I will add it one by one when I write the tests. So, client dispose. This operation is not allowed before listening messages has started. $198. 98. Oh, I have to start listening. I use the stop listening. And which I could actually get rid of, I guess, now that I have the server callbacks thing here. StreamJsonRpc, start listening. Then I can remove this part. Okay. Let's move this part below all the tests, and then really I have to activate all the tests now. I think that's fine now because they should work. Just had to change this part everywhere. And add the cancellation token. Let's rewrite this part also. Where had I added this thing here? I have misspelled the cancellation token everywhere. Read this part. I think I could extract this part to the destructor because I have to do it every time. But no, not really, not every time. For this test cases where I test the exit and the shutdown, I do it differently, so I have to copy paste it. Or I could create a helper method or something here, but not sure if this is worth it. It's basically the block that I have to do. So here, dispose. Okay. It's done. Server callbacks. The helper. So let's see which still are failing or not failing. Yeah, only one fails. Value differ. Expected 1, actual was 0. Okay, we have the exit. Requires that the shutdown async was called first, and if it's not called first, shutdown task is completed. Through an invalid operation exception is thrown. So this should basically fail. This method here without the first shutdown request, just say exit and dispose. But somehow it's fine for him. Initialized, exit async, dispose, wait for exit. So let's see if we parse the, no, not here, but here. X unit trace listener. Output helper. So, and then say detailed. Okay, invalid operation exception. Yet been asked to shut down or has not finished shutting down. So what we could also do here, so it seems that it does not crash. Maybe it's by design so that if you, even if you send the exit code directly, it does not crash the server. Because I use like the LSP implementation under the hood, so I'm not sure how it was intended. So this one is thrown. We return the server exited source task here instead of the exit notification task, as we may not have finished processing the exit notification before client calls into us asking to restart. This is because unlike shutdown, exit is a notification where client do not need to wait for a response. This is on a build server. And before I commented out the implementation on this abstract based protocol server part, which is intended to be something that you can share between all this LSP, DAP, and PSP servers, which is called base protocol. It's just for the LSP for the future, because like many things can be shared between the servers. The whole initialize and exit stuff. A little bit about the logs and traces is also shared here. Yep, that's what I use also here. Cycle manager. Do not need any custom logic to run on exit. Do I need any custom logic to run on exit? Currently not. So exit. Get request execution queue, dispose async. JSONRpc disconnected. Exit configure wait. It's possible this gets called during normal shutdown and exit. Shutdown async and exit async will know if shutdown was already triggered by something else. Clean up the server if we encounter the JSONRpc disconnect so that we can restart later. Okay. Let's see, here we have a definition for the exit. On build exit notification. Like the language server protocol and notification to ask the server to exit its process. The server should exit with success code 0 if the shutdown request has been received before, otherwise with error code 1. Which is not the case here, right? I'm just wondering why no one else is waiting or like closing the client first after the exit request. No build target are returned if the client has no capabilities. Reload request works if is supported. Quite some tests. I could use some of them or implement some of them in C#. Old request works if is supported. Target sources list is empty if given no targets. Dependency sources list is empty if given no targets. Supported. Dependency modules list is empty if given no targets. Not the process empty if given no targets. Clean cache method works. So I guess I have to figure it out why this is not exit code 1 here. Let's start again from program CS here. So we can say invoke async location pipeline. Code for missing action. Process termination handler. Reactions. Reaction. CLI action is synchronous. CLI action. Is not synchronous. So it's asynchronous. Then invoke async. Okay. Then we have the same if async. Process termination timeout has value. Termination handler. When any task termination. Wait, if termination handler null, then await task. If it's set, then await task when termination handler. Completion source task. The termination handler is one thing that we could check if this is enabled. And we have an exception handler here. Enable default. Catch exception when Parse result configuration enable default exception handler is true. Default is true. And the default exception handler does what? Is operation cancelled exception? Exception is not operation cancelled exception. Then it does this part. Return 1. So, and this is if synchronous. Asynchronous CLI action called within non-async invocation. So let's go back. Termination handler. Root command. Wait for exit. So that's also task only set. Don't get the part where it listens for the exit code here. Set action. Oh. The value returned from the action delegate can be used to set the process exit. Let's see if this was maybe already implemented in the Roslyn server. Roslyn language server. Was this here? Yes. Setting the title can fail if the process runs without a window, such as when launched detached from Node.js. Okay. No error reporting, set error mode on Windows. I'm wondering if they have this use case in the unit tests. So they have unit tests for different features of the language server. We have initialization tests. We have something here for the exit. Yeah, I'm wondering if this is maybe even in a bug in the current Roslyn language server implementation. Because for me it seems like there is no way that the server or like the process can return non-success exit code. It always succeeds. At least this is how I read the code now. See if we have something here. Exit. Yeah, this would be interesting to actually run the tests here from the language server. This one, and write one test to check if it's exiting correctly. See how they do this with the abstract language server host tests. Test LSP server. Assembly loader. Extension type ref resolver. So that's what I wanted to do initially. Not to run it as an external process, but having it more lightweight. But I didn't done it like that because it was hard hard to do it because internally in the build server I load MS build assemblies with this MS build loader, and you cannot unload them. And so if you run multiple tests, it fails on the second test because it says it has already loaded the MS build assemblies in the current process, like in the current test process. And later on I want to run the tests for different projects so that I have some test projects inside my test suite. So the real C# projects that I have specifically for testing. So I can spin up the build server and point it to this specific C# project and expect what it has to find there, because I know the project is for my test and I know exactly how many targets they are in this project. I know which files they are, so I can assume what the responses are from the build server, or what the responses should be for the specific project. And because I want to be able to do it for different projects, I may load different MS build assemblies, so this approach would not work for me. At least not with this test setup that I want to do for a build server. So that's invoke. So this is what I could also do. That what I said before, I could simplify this tests if I run this stuff always at the end, which I could not do because I have some specific tests here, but I could just create a new class for them. So the specific exit tests would be in a different file, and the rest in here, like the normal tests when the server is starting correctly and should be shut down correctly, I could simplify so I don't have too much duplications. So actually, let's do this. Here, I can just move this out. Let's do it differently. I copy the file and rename it to shut down and exit test. Then I can just remove all this stuff here. Let's rename this part to shut down and exit tests. Okay, test helpers or something. Remove. This and this in there. And the factory also. So in here I could remove all the exit parts. And simplify this stuff. Create a constructor here. say we want always this stuff there. And create the cancellation token. Yes, and we could also create this client here, read-only client. We have here and get the destructor. BuildServer protocol tests. How can I do async stuff in destructor and XUnit? Async destructor. Sharing the object instance. Get an instance of the test class for every test. Async creates a new instance of the test class for every test that is run. So any code which is placed into the constructor of the test class will be run for every single test. This makes the constructor a convenient place. So iDisposable, I have to have a disposable interface. What's about async? Async disposable. Oh, planned for XUnit 3, okay. Cannot call asynchronous method in a constructor. Also, XUnit does not call async disposable. It's planned for. To perform async setup and cleanup, you need to implement async lifetime. Okay. So on a constructor it's not a problem, but on a destructor. So we have this part, which we then call like that. So BuildServer. Actually, this one is not needed, but I still so that the interface satisfied here. Cancellation token. I don't need this part either. So this part can be removed. We have only this and this. I think we are done now. See if the tests are running fine. Could not be found. XUnit trace listener. Oh, what's wrong? Let's see. XUnit trace listener. It's partial. It's not partial class here. Why will it be? So wait, what? So callbacks cannot convert this down to this to okay. It's different. Server callbacks. Let's move this also in a separate class. File to wait. I don't want to rename, I want to move it. And this part is not needed. Then use this. It's also not partial class here. Oh. Can also build with the server itself. The compilation was okay. Let's just double check that. Does not exist in the current context test project path. So seems that this was wrong. Hi, Joel. Yeah, it's a long time. How are you? Good to see you that your production quality has been upgraded. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I also, the last time I fixed a long-standing issue that I had with the Omni Sharp server. And now you see I get also more warnings and stuff. Actually, the Omni Sharp server didn't catch the configuration that I thought it catches from the Omni Sharp JSON config. And after I passed it directly from Lua, it started working, and it actually currently recognizes all the configuration from the editor config file. And now I get different style warnings and stuff, which I was not seeing before. Yeah, that's actually currently kind of continuation. I implemented most of the things that I want from the build server, and most also of the methods that are available. Not all, but many of them. And now I'm writing helpers for tests because I want to write also tests for it. I think there are for sure bugs in there. So if I write tests, it's easier for me to catch them. Before I was just more like exploring and playing around with if the implementations at least work in that way I think they should work. And now I'm trying to kind of stabilize it. So namespace server callbacks could not be found. Yeah, okay, I think I have to restart the LSP server. Because from all this renamings, it kind of confused. This project path. Everywhere is this partial stuff. So it's irritating because the response says it's okay. The build was running okay, but it is not. So I think I have to catch it up with the tests. Build. Oh, now it is okay. And if I run the tests, it's okay. Some of them are failing. Operation cancelled. Value differ. That's expected. Request workspace build type after initial success. Operation was cancelled. So it's not enough to have 3 seconds there. Oh, I have cancellation. Token source. Let's have it on 3 seconds. This part. Yeah, okay, now I've fixed them. Ah, nice, just figured that you are using PopOS. No, it's not PopOS, it's Cosmic. Cosmic desktop environment. But yeah, actually, I think PopOS is moving to Cosmic when it's done. But my is... You went to say yes. Yeah, that's fine. Cosmic is pretty nice. Didn't encounter many bugs. I mean, I'm sure there are bugs, but I'm not using kind of different things from Cosmic that much. I just developing and streaming on that machine, so not configuring much, not changing much from the default configuration. Yeah, I'm also excited about that. Having a tiling desktop environment, which is also a normal desktop environment, so that you can switch it on and off. It's quite nice, and also having it from a big player like System76 is nice, because I think they will have just more resources to develop that stuff, and also like developing it in a new language, which is kind of hyped, and everyone like to write stuff in Rust, and I hope it gets the attention. And I also hope to use some components from Cosmic with Sway, because I'm using Sway on my daily job a lot, and I'm kind of used to it already. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, I guess a new toolkit to shake things up would be nice. What do you mean by that? Exactly. Ah, ice toolkit. Yeah. This sounds, this ice project sounds also pretty nice. Just also nice to have newer desktop environment, which is like written with the newest tools and does not have that much of legacy stuff in there. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one. And also what I heard about the approach that they're taking is like more grabbing every semi-official protocol that Wayland has from the different Wayland communities and this different other like Wayland compositors, and putting it into the Cosmic desktop environment, which is kind of nice because as I read, GNOME sometimes did not recognize these protocols and don't like to implement them in GNOME. So it's kind of nice that they are playing more along with the community. Just wondering if they have somewhere a list of protocols that they support. Yeah, that's what I also was hoping, that they're kind of having someone besides KDE and GNOME will push also the other desktop environments a little bit further. Like not in a bad sense, like they're like, I don't know how to describe that. Not just to saying that they are bad or something. Just competition helps often to also drive like the other competitors, like GNOME and KDE. I think all three will improve from that. Additional Wayland protocols and generated trust bindings used by Cosmic desktop environment. Unstable. I think there is an app created to know the Wayland protocols and the ones which are being used. Brody Robertson did a video on that. Oh. Thanks for the hint. Is this the first one? Is this the one? But I think I saw this video. Is it? I think I saw it somewhere. Third video, I think. 1, 2, 3. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I saw this video already, but I already forgot that. Thanks for the hint. I will look it again. It's kind of nice to have this kind of apps. I think it's not Cosmic specific, right? Looks like it's... ID. Oh, I see. It's defined for different implementations, for different compositors. So you can look up which compositor implements which of the specs. Nice. Yeah. But still, it's cool that someone took the time to do that. Is there a link to the repository? Way check and Flatpak. So nice, it's even on FlatHub. Let's check if they have Cosmic in there, because it's not in the screenshot. Check metadata. There should be a list somewhere, right? Oh, I see. I think he has a different repository for the definitions. Zip way check. No, not really. XML file, which one? Didn't saw the XML file. Find file, XML, meta info. Yeah, I was in the resources directory, but I just overseen it, I think. Let's see. Cosmic. Short table scroll bars as needed. So something with Cosmic seems to be in there. And wait, this is information about the releases. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it seems that they added something to Cosmic related in the 1.3 version, but that's not the definition file for which protocols are supported for which compositor. But yeah, I just imagined that there is some file where he defines I don't know, in JSON or XML structure, which protocol is supported in which compositor, and it loads this file and parses it and then displays all that stuff. So maybe we see in there how this is done. Oh, it's directly in code. Neil Compa, he's a famous guy in IRC. Neil Compa, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, I know them from Fedora. That he does a lot. And I think he helps out in the Cosmic SIG from Fedora. I didn't expect this, that this is directly in code. I mean, it's fine, but I expected it to be more in a kind of configuration structure like JSON or XML. Let's have a look. Here in code, editory, source protocols. Cosmic unstable. So Cosmic has its own protocols, as I see. Image source, output management. And GameScope has also its own protocols. Didn't knew that. Yeah, that's used in Steam Deck. That's from Valve, yeah. Chrome OS. The new they have a Wayland compositor. But yeah, it makes sense. I mean, X11 is quite dead. So I think I will stop for today. Joel, yeah. Right? See you. And I hope to see you in the next stream. So see you around. Bye.